In this video, we're going to take a look at using the Relief Clipart library and how you can import Relief Clipart from there and resize it, manipulate it, so then you can create your own piece. So to open the Relief Clipart library, if you select this folder with the yellow star, click that and it will open up the Relief Clipart library. Now, to navigate the library, you've got choose library here, and by default, it should be pointing to animals. If you don't have this library, there should be a link that tells you that you can get more clip art. So if you select that, it will take you to the website and you can download the clip art for it. And then you'll have all of these reliefs in there. Okay. So when you have that installed, then you should have all of these reliefs. So at the moment, I'm in the animals folder. Now I can click that and browse through each folder to see what's in there. And all of these you can use within your projects. So if I come down to greenery, you can see them there. Now, if you want to see everything that's in here, then what you need to do is come down to reliefs, and that will show you the whole lot, everything that's in all of these folders. Okay, so you can see all of the reliefs, and you just can toggle through, just take a look. Now, if there's something that maybe you want to send to someone, or you want to find it, let's say that you wanted to delete it, what you can do, let's say this flower number 8, right click on it, and then I can locate the file, I can create a duplicate, I can delete it, or I can rename it. If I select locate file, it will open up that file for me. Okay, and then I can right click and I can email it to someone if I wanted to. Okay, so if I go back to the top, let's say that I wanted to create a new folder. So if you take a look here, my reliefs, these are actually my own personal reliefs that I have. Okay, stuff that I've either modeled or I've acquired over the years. Okay, if you wanted to create something like that, then what you would do, you would go to new, and then opens up the relief folder. It would automatically go to the last or the selected folder that's on there. What you need to do is go to reliefs at the top here and make a new folder. And I'll just call this temp and select OK. And now if I browse to that folder from out of the software, I can drag and drop reliefs in there and they will show up within the software. So if I go back to, let's say, animals, let's say at the top here, I wanted to quickly search for a relief. So let's say an eagle. So if I type in E, you can see I get everything that begins with E. So this is a live search bar. So if I start typing in eagle, you can see I get all of my eagle designs. And what I can do, I can just grab those and drag them into the model. So if I grab that eagle, let's say there, what I can do, two ways to do this. I can left click, drag it into the model, or I can just click it, and then if I do click it, it comes into the model where it was created originally. So I'll show you the two ways. So if I click it, that was where it was created then, the bottom left hand corner. If I delete that, drag it in, I can automatically just drag it in to wherever I like. So I've dragged that in and I need to resize this. So this transform tool pretty much works exactly the same as if you were transforming vectors. Okay, the only difference being is that you've got a Z range, and you've also got some options down the bottom that we'll deal with in a moment. So either enter a size in here. Make sure that your aspect ratio is correct how you want it. So click on the padlock. It will maintain an aspect ratio between all 3 dimensions, or you can turn it off or with the 2. I normally keep the 2 because I don't want to change the actual shape of this. So if I grab a corner handle and I can move that out. Now notice how it's coming from that point, that top left point. If I press Alt down on the keyboard, it will come from the center. Okay. And then exactly the same as vectors, I can press F9 and that will put that in the center of the model. Now if I rotate this around, use the middle mouse button and drag, you can see that it's only 29 thou high. So what I'm going to do is grab that and bring it up like so. Okay, so now it's almost 0.2 high. Now I can do this to a specific size if I wanted to. Let's say 1/4 of an inch and select apply, and it will automatically move that up. When I'm happy with that, I've got 2 options to paste this down. So this is still floating clip art, so I can still move this around. Okay, now I could paste this down, or I could bring in another piece. So let's say that I wanted to bring that in, and I could do that then. It's entirely up to you. You can move this around and arrange it prior to pasting it down. One thing to bear in mind is that once you've pasted this down in Carveco Maker, you won't be able to move it around again. Okay, so just make sure that you're completely happy with it before pasting it down. So let me delete that. Go back into the transform tool, press T on the keyboard, or you can go over here to transform and it will open up the tool again. So what I'm going to do is either select paste, or you can press enter on the keyboard. So if I paste that down, it now becomes a relief, and I can't move this around now. Okay, so I'm not too fussed about that because what I want to do is put something on the top of here. Okay, so let's close that search and let's take a look at what I can put on there. So let's say I'll go to my reliefs and let's say that I wanted to put maybe a scroll there going over the top like so. Now what you would need to do here is make sure that it combined properly. So here you can see it's not high enough. Okay, so if I were to drop that down like so, you can see it's not really high enough, but what I can do is bring that up so then it comes through like so. Now here you have options for combining various reliefs. So these are called combine modes. Now what I would strongly recommend to start out with is go to more options and it will tell you exactly which ones are which. So at the moment I've got merge high, and that's because I've used it in a previous example. So you may have add selected. So if I were to do that and select add and paste it down, it wouldn't work correctly. So if I pasted that down, you can see what's happened is it's basically added all of the reliefs onto the top of each other, and that's not the effect that I wanted whatsoever. Okay, now don't worry because you've always got an undo button. So if I undo that, you can see it brings me back. And I'll select the clip art and just go to transform by pressing T. So if I go back to more options and this time select merge high. Now what this will do, it will basically paste it as it is now. So if I paste that down, it pastes it so then it's merging in quite nicely. Okay, I'll show you another way that you can do this. So undo and go to transform again, go to more options. Now subtract and merge load, just do the opposite to what you have here. If, let's say for instance, I didn't want this to be so high, I want it to be quite small. So let's say I actually want that to be like that. Now, if I were to merge this now, that is literally how it would look. But what I can do is select replace, and what this will do, it will cut out the underlying relief that's already there and then paste this down. So if I paste that, it cuts it out, and then I've got my relief there. So that's how you can paste something down without losing that height. So then when you merge high, you need to make something that's higher than what's already there. So that's a little tip when you're pasting something down. So if I keep that there like so, and let's paste something down in the middle here now. So let's take a plan view, and I don't know, let's just do maybe these vines. Now the problem that you've got here is that sometimes these will, because the default mode, the default viewing mode is merge high, you won't see things that sit underneath things, underneath a higher relief. So if I make this quite small, like so, and then let's rotate that around. So just select Alt on the keyboard and just drag on the outside. This is exactly the same as doing vectors. Okay, and then I move that to there. You can see, all that I can see is the outline, because this is actually sitting underneath this shield. Okay, so if I rotate that around there, maybe let's move that to there like so. Okay, so let's say that I've got that, and what I want to do with this is I just want to add it onto the top of this. So if I just double check what the height of this is, so to go back, just go to the transform options at the top. So this is 0.1 high. Let's say that I want this to be 0.05 high and apply. So let's paste this down, and you can see that that's added to the top of that. And I can start to build up a nice piece to machine. Now, if I undo that and I'll go to transform again, the clip art basically works exactly the same as how a vector would. So if I were to close this, and let's say that I wanted to mirror this, I would just do that as though I were mirroring a vector. So if I go to the mirror objects tool, and then I'm going to copy the original objects, and I'm going to do it across the model like so. And then just draw a box around these, so I'll select both of them, go to transform, and then paste. You can see it's pasted both of them down. Now, I've got a little problem in the middle there, and that's because they're both added onto the top of each other. So what I would need to do there is just make them a little bit smaller so I don't get that. So let's put something in the middle. Let's say, go to crests, and let's find something that I have. Let's say maybe this lion that I have here. Grab that, and let's just put that F9 in the middle. Press Alt down on the keyboard, and it will maintain a 90-degree angle snap. So let's bring that down. Keep Alt pressed, make it a bit larger, like so. Let's bring it down a touch more. Okay, so let's say for whatever reason I needed an outline of this because I wanted to cut something off. What I can do there is go to more options and paste outline vector. So if I paste that down, make sure that it's add, because I want to add it onto the top of here, and select paste. And it pastes this vector down, so I can use that at a later date for something. So there you can see how to use the Relief Clipart library. I strongly advise having a play with the various modes when importing in, because it's very important to understand the difference between adding onto the top of something. So if it's a flat like this, that's perfectly fine. you can add it onto the top of it. It won't make any difference. But when there's some detail, let's say like on the wing here, and you wanted to add onto the top of it, like we did on the scroll, then you need to use merge high, or you could use replace if you wanted to. So that's how you use the Relief Clip Art library and how you bring in Relief Clip Art for your designs.